Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Babs, a rising VTuber and an artist. Today we're going to be checking out Sweet Home 3D. So this is something called a CAD program. That stands for Computer Assisted Design, I believe. It's a freeware program that is supposed to be able to be an easy way to make interiors. I'm assuming for its internal decoration purposes, architecture, things like that. It caught my interest because lately I've been trying to figure out ways of making more diverse backgrounds. And, what better way to do that than just basically play The Sims, but without any money limitations or concerns about, oh boy, am I going to need my Sim to do this? You can use The Sims. I don't think it's necessarily a bad tool, but I do think it is good to have specialized design. Also, this has like actual scales on it. Check that out. It has like meters each way, north compass and everything. It's very interesting. It's very useful. Okay. Open a home, save home, create home. Okay. Edit preferences, create walls. Okay, let's start with creating some walls. Create walls tip. Click in the plan at the start point of the new wall, then click or double click at its end point. As long as you don't double click or press the escape key, each new click indicates the opposite point of the current wall and the start point of the next wall. Ah, okay. So let's say I... Oh. Okay, and then if I click here... Okay, click here, and I click here, and then double click here, and that ends the wall. Okay. Nice. All right. What else is there? Create rooms. Okay. Create polylines. What do these do? Click in the plan at the start point of the new polyline. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, but I don't know what the polyline actually does. I'm not going to mess with that just now. Create dimensions? Am I ready for that kind of power? I don't know, pal. That's kind of a lot to foist on me all of a sudden. What does this do? Create new dimensions in a plane using one of three ways. Click at the start point of the dimension, click at its end point, click a third time. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with that just yet. What is this? Add text. Okay, you can add text. Disable magnetism. Create a photo from 3D view. That's gonna be definitely useful. But okay, let's take a look. See, so let's use the select objects in plan tool. Let's bring this wall. Oh, baby. Oh, I didn't know that would be what it would do. Oh my god. Oh, and I just duplicated that wall. Wait, hang on. Can I? Holy shit. Oh my god, this program is dangerous. I was not meant to have this kind of power. I was not meant to have this kind of power. Oh my god. Wait. No, hang on. Bring back the building. So wait, if I don't... Okay, so if I select all, that's when I can move it around like this. Okay. If I only select one wall, I can use this to curve it around. Okay, yes. I can use this to set up a new... Okay, that makes sense. And then, how do I extend the wall? Okay, maybe that way I can do, like, parallel stuff, and... No? Hang on, how do I, like, go gadget extend this? Flip horizontally, flip vertically, modify canvas, modify walls, here we go. Color, texture, right side... Okay, height at start and height and rectangular wall, height centimeters, sloping wall. Wait, what? Thickness in centimeters. 7.5 centimeters of thickness isn't a whole lot, but that's not really our problem. Okay, seriously though, how do I extend these walls? Maybe I can kind of create polylines, modify compass, reverse walls direction. What? Add level at same elevation. Oh, I'm guessing that's for different floors, huh? But yeah, check that out. We have a little structure. Very cool. Maybe I can... Hang on, maybe I can... It's really fucking me up that this isn't perfectly aligned with the grid, but it is what it is. Can I reset the... aerial view? Virtual visit. Oh, baby. We'll have to do that later. But yeah, is there a way to... Well, I guess this one just kind of does its own thing down here, so I'm not really too worried about it. Let's start decorating this place, hey? Okay, first, I think door would be good. Door would probably be pretty good. I feel like door is a pretty vital sort of implement. Door and door frame. Ooh la la, getting fancy with it. Okay, for now, let's just add a door first. I think a door should probably open from the inside here. Okay, very good. Is there no ceiling function for this? Or roof? Is there no roof we can make? Add catalog selected furniture to home. Okay. Create walls, create rooms, create polylines. No roof. It's just not... Can we... Hang on, can we attach this together? Can we group these? Select walls. Group. No method of grouping. Okay, that might be problematic. We'll deal with that when the time comes, I guess. Oh, I see. Door frame doesn't actually... You don't need to add the door to the door frame. The door comes with the door frame. That's all. That's pre... Batteries included in this one, so to speak. Alright. And you know what? We'll add a garage door, too. Just because I think it'll be fun and chaotic to do so. Okay. So let's make... God, it would be such a nightmare to have a garage door entrance to your bedroom. Definitely a little drafty, I imagine. Okay, let's create rooms. Create a new room or a new surface in the plan using either way. Click at each corner of the room, then double-click its last point or press escape key after you've added the last point. Okay. Okay. There we go. That room looks a little strange, right? Hang on, I think there's something messed up with that room. Yeah, it's just not quite exactly aligned. Hang on. Can I get the tooltip for the room again? Double-click anywhere inside an existing closed surface, i.e. surrounded by walls. Okay, bet. Oh, mira tú. Okay. Can I make a secondary room? Can I make a room within the room? I cannot. Okay, can I adjust the room size? No, that's adjusting the wall. Not quite what I had in mind. I'm starting to sense some bullshit here. It's building time. Hi, Adept. Yeah, I think... I don't know... Can anybody who has more architectural experience take a look at my... Neo Architect here. Can somebody who has architectural experience look at my house and tell me what I'm doing wrong? I feel like this isn't right somehow. Right? Like, this can't be right. I can just feel the ghost of Le Corbusier laughing his ass off at me. Also, hi, Ryan. You know what? I do think it is a nice room. I do enjoy its aesthetics. That being said, I do need to figure out how, okay, I'm gonna need to add walls. I do think we are going to have to do some masonry up in here. Okay, so here's the optimal... For those of you who are new to architecture, here is the optimal structure for any house. Make the door as close to the corner as possible. Long as hell hallway in the entrance. And then you just kind of go from there. $1 door 1,000, one single room. Can someone help me balance my house budget? Yeah, you gotta have the longest entry hallway possible. That exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I keep trying to click on this thinking it'll like shift the perspective of the building plan. That's not how this works. So far, these past two programs you've used have things that can all be done in The Sims, which makes it a real two-in-one package. You know what? That's not an unfair assessment. I do have to agree. But hey, does the Sims have glass door cabinet? Huh? I'd like to see EA whip up one of these. Actually, this could make for a pretty nice kitchen if we... Hang on. Actually, you know what? Nah, let's make the hallway more cramped. You know, because that's what we need. Less space in the gigantic hallway. Let's just add a couple of these real quick. Oh yeah, maybe a couple more. You know, just a couple of inches of space between them, just so you can clean between them. And of course, it wouldn't be a house unless you had the risk of accidentally knocking over your glassware cabinet every time you open the door. Open plan housing has been the thing for too long. We have to go back to cramped spaces. That's what I'm saying. Open plan housing is the decadent tool of the bourgeoisie. The real proletariat have maximally cramped rooms where you will die if you trip. It needs to be a hell hallway, if you will, as a gauntlet of sorts before guests enter the main area with a sense of relief. I don't know. I don't have the kind of experience, the right architectural chops, I think, to make a hellway just yet. I think you need to do your master's thesis before you can pull that move off safely. I don't know. We might be able to get there. We might be able to form a pseudo hellway which was discussed by Vitruvius's writings on the nature of the home. I do think we can get there if we really try. Okay, how do we? All right, what is the next step? Okay, the house needs at minimum four things actually. We need a place to rest, which is the bedroom. We need a place to cook food, which is the kitchen. We need a bathroom, and we need the car hole. Using this home planning tool to create a dungeon. Consider the following. Make the end extend to the right to make a big L. We could make kind of a labyrinth structure, actually, now that you mention it. Hang on. If I just kind of reach over here and grab this wall, right? And just kind of... I think we can kind of maximize the hostility of this environment by trying to make it an actively labyrinthian space. How wide is that? Okay, this is like 1.5 meters wide, by the way. This is like that's like almost like 3 feet and a little bit, right? I'd say maybe 4 feet. So, you know, I think that's plenty enough space. Hostile architecture, but it's for your own home. That's how you stay strong. Do you remember that one TikTok that was going around? I didn't actually watch the TikTok. I saw a screenshot of the TikTok where this person had taken out all the stairs in their home and just had like blanket ropes and fireman poles and like one of those not a hang glider, but zip line. A zip line to get around. Very funny house. I don't imagine that they are enjoying their decisions very much at the moment, but, you know, maybe they are. Maybe that's some real magic of the whole situation. And actually, you know what? In terms of building design, you know what's really cool? Symmetry. So what we're gonna do is we're also going to make the entrance to the garage through the garage similarly hellish for anybody who dares have a vehicle in this space. Okay, and then we're just gonna... Yeah, you're gonna need to back up into this garage by... Basically... So, okay, so you're coming in hot, right? You're gonna need to enter at an angle, which is already pretty bad, and then you're gonna need to kind of smoothly swerve to fit the car in properly. It's a little bit... It is kind of giving that... Do you know that one game where you have to pilot a little helicopter thing? Oh, wait, hang on. This is perfect, actually. Okay, and then... I don't know why it's locking onto specific points here. Is it because I have the magnetic tool on? Oh, sure is. Okay, so here's my vision for this, right? You have to enter the garage at a sort of angle down here. Hang on, let me bump this up a little bit. All right, you have to enter the garage at an angle, and then you have to kind of smoothly swerve yourself into this little nook here. Or else, you can't just like, maybe that's going to be a storage area. That would be the more reasonable option, but no, I'm going to put the storage on the sides here, and then the car has to turn to actually be able to park fully. And has anybody here read the Enigma of Amigara Fault? What I'm kind of picturing is like the garage version of that in my creative vision. There we go. Yeah, okay, this is perfect actually. The space is too narrow for the car to park here. Unless you want to do like half the car in and half the car out, which some people do, and those people are not afraid of getting their possessions stolen, and I respect that. But okay, yeah, this is perfect, actually. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Very awful, tiny little bathroom. Then the kitchen can be this area here. Maybe we can make some kind of almost island-ish structure. And this area here will be the bedroom / living room. Or actually, you know what? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking here. But for the time being, let's say that this is the living room, this is the kitchen. Or actually, no. You know what? Nobody deserves to hang out in this place recreationally. We're switching out the living room for a bedroom. Nobody deserves to stay in this house longer than they have to. Do we have a car? Is there a car we can actually... Is it under miscellaneous? What do you mean mannequin? Hang on. Pause. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what this place needs. I know this is probably supposed to be just so you can have a reference for how like a human being would fit in this place, but I have other plans. Okay. Hang on. Aerial view. Oh yeah. Notice that the main kitchen bedroom area is shaped somewhat like a heart. This is what we in the business call irony. What? Wait, triangle? What do you mean? What is a You could make like a ramp? Oh, buddy. Buddy, you shouldn't have. Okay. Okay. So here's where I'm at. Obstacle course to... Okay, once you pass the Hall of the Mannequin, with enough triangles you can make anything. Computers have taught me this. Computers have taught you well. I'm thinking more Mr. Beast $5,000 cash prize obstacle course through the second hallway. If you can pass the trial of the mannequin. So there is a gap here. I don't know what I can put in the gap to make it feel more hostile. Okay, hang on. Okay, so this is like a 1 meter jump. Most people can make that. Let's make it a meter and a half. Okay. Can we stretch out the box? This box scale up. Okay, no, that scales the box down. Can we scale it? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I love this program. I don't know. I think it's kind of goated. I don't know when this came out, but it might be the game of the year. I don't care if it's technically not a game. This is a game of the year to me. Does anybody remember the game Turbo Dismount? I don't know why, but it gives me strong Turbo Dismount vibes. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's that area done. We have so much more we can do, quite honestly. Still haven't found a car, so I'm trying to see if we might not be able to find something like that, but you know what? I'm kind of endeared to the garage as it is. So much more space for your artistry, yes! Okay. We do need at least a door to get into the bathroom, so let's at least add that first. Or actually, you know what? We don't deserve a door. You just got a door frame into the bathroom. Fuck it. No door on this puppy. You get in there, you do your business, and you walk right back out. No privacy needed. You have like a meter of wall covering your business. We don't deserve doors. Actually, you know what might be a better choice? I'm going to add a door leading to the garage through the bathroom. No door for the bathroom itself. Yeah, this is perfect. This is what I'm feeling is like truly evil. It's probably a good thing I became an artist. I feel like if I had taken STEM studies seriously, I would have ended up like turning into an evil scientist. I might still become Okay, hang on. Shower? Okay, this is gonna be a complex one because we do need a shower. We're not animals. That being said, I do think we are going to need to double team the space where the shower is with a wash basin. I do sadly think that is going to be the case. So hang on, can we... Okay, I'm going to turn the wash basin around. Because, you know, it's always comfy to... It's always good fun and comfortable to be under threat of the shower head turning on randomly while you're brushing your teeth. It is the cramped hell house. It's so awful. Like, genuinely, I think I might be losing karma just by imagining this place. Feel like I'm committing some kind of great evil. And of course, we do need a toilet unit. So I'm thinking, like, right next to the... You kind of have to climb over. There's not a lot of space. You're gonna need to kind of bow-leg it to really accomplish anything, I think. You know what? We're not a complete monster. Or wait, no. Yes, we are. Okay, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think it's funny enough to make the toilet like this. There we go! Wait, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, no, just put it at an angle. Really expose all the plumbing to the back wall. Yeah, that's perfect. God, I feel like an angled toilet would actually fuck me up. I'm very used to toilets being oriented in like an orthogonal manner, right? Like I'm very used to the toilet fitting in. The toilet, for all of its curves, is a very rectangular structure. That's why I think putting it at an angle like this is really unnerving. Okay, so that's the bathroom done. Let's start working on the kitchen. Or actually, the bedroom shouldn't take too long. Let's see. Okay. Okay, bed. What does the bed look like? Oh, it's just a... Okay, it's a nice little... I don't think it has a bed frame, actually. Hang on. Can we get eyes on... Okay. Oh, I see. So, ideally, the bed would be lying on the bed frame. But I think we've all kind of understood fundamentally by now that this is anything but the ideal house. What is sliding... Okay, sliding doors. Tell me about the sliding doors, pal. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. This is not a place of luxury? Not in the traditional sense, no. I do imagine making a house like this would actually be quite expensive. I don't think luxury is the right kind of phrasing for it, though. Regarding the wardrobe, you do need a place to store your clothes at the end of the day. I think we should have just enough space if we put it uncomfortably close to the toilet wall. Yeah, there we go. Perfect snug fit. Actually, we could probably move this just a little bit. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's probably fine if the toilet just intersects a little bit with a shower. You know, it's got like the edge of the rim kind of over the shower place, you know, just kind of like how you'd want for your own personal hygiene. And that way we can push the... Yeah, just a smidge, you know, just like a light tap, like a high five with the toilet in your shower water. Okay, I kind of threw up in my mouth saying that. I'm actually gonna... Wait! Oh, no. Oh, boy! Hey, so good news. I found out you can apply custom proportions to the toilet. Okay, hang on. Can we do that again? How did I do that the first time? How did I... tell me how... remind me how I did that the first time, please. Okay, it's not this one. It's not this one. Oh, yeah. Well, now this solves all our problems, actually. Because I was worried that the toilet would actually go into the shower and there wouldn't be enough leg room. No, we've got it made in the shade with our wide toilet. Be careful not to fall in. It's almost an entire meter wide. Oh god. Okay. Whew. Okay. How do we... Alright. I was gonna say, how do we improve on this? I feel like that's the wrong approach for our thesis here. Okay, we got a cooker, a clothes washer, a dishwasher, fridge and a freezer, a hood, which I'm guessing is like the grease extractor. How do we make it worse? Yeah, that's kind of more the angle here. I think that's more of what we've got in terms of a... That is very clearly a microwave. That is not an oven. Why would you call it an oven when you in the cold food and out and the hot food out? Okay, well, I'm thinking, right, we do have the wardrobe here, but we don't necessarily know if the person who lives here needs to eat. I'm going to assume they don't. And maybe that's why they're okay with the wide toilet. Okay, kitchen upper cabinet. We can put that somewhere here. Perfect. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Maybe a fridge and a freezer right next to the washing machine. Right? And then what we're gonna do is oven, but it's the exact height as the refrigerator. There's one of these that lets me mess with the... Wait. No, oh, wait, I can just make it float in the air? Oh, you shouldn't have. Sweet Home 3D, you really shouldn't have. Fuck it, yeah, the ominous fucking microwave that's just floating in the air. Perfect, I love it. Yeah, I thought elevation meant, like, making the object taller or shorter. Oh, no, wait, you can do that too. Hang on. I think you can do that too as well with this one here. Okay, yeah, just a really narrow microwave. If you try to microwave anything thicker than a burrito in here, out of luck. I'm sorry, that's just not happening. And actually, you know what? I do feel like we probably could find a use for those sliding doors. You know, since it's such a long way to the kitchen and the fridge. You know what? You know, why not? Why not have sliding doors to the kitchen? There we go. Wait, hang on. I think I figured out a way to make the bathroom more hostile. So I'm seeing over here doors and windows, how there's a fixed triangle window, a French window, front door, a round window, a service hatch. What happens if we half round window the bathroom? Oh, that's okay. That's much less impressive than I was expecting. But we can fix that though. We can definitely play around with that a little bit because we can actually put it down on the elevation and mess around with its height. Yes, okay. How's that looking? Could use a little bit more height. Oops, okay, that didn't... I didn't actually press the elevation button. Okay, yeah. You know, just a real nice full view peak. Very, very big windowsill on that. Okay. So that's pretty good. Okay, we got a few different light sources as well here. I don't know what we're gonna do for the... For the garage just yet. I don't know, maybe... Oh? Maybe... I don't know, actually. Or, actually, I do know how to improve on this. You know, let's add some curtains to the bathroom window just in case. I do feel like maybe that's warranted given everything, given the whole situation. Okay. Triangle? Oh, right, I remember what the triangle was. Okay, we got the mannequin frame. Oh, we also have the cylinder. I don't know. Do we want hashtag my cylinder in the house? Actually, that gives me an idea. So what is wall up light? Everyone needs a good cylinder. You know what? True. And you know what? I think I know just the place to put it. Let's make it so that the cylinder is a feature on the southern side of the house. So we're going to... Is there a way to rotate this in, like... Hang on. Okay, let's mess around with the elevation real quick. There we go. We'll just have it nicely bisecting the wall there. It is a shame you can't rotate things diagonally, or like, we can't control the roll, pitch, and yaw of the cylinder, but you know what? This program is already very powerful. I don't think we need any more power than that, necessarily. Or actually, hang on. I just got a different idea. I think I know how we can spice up the hallway of doom. Okay, so has anybody seen those martial arts movies where they have the protagonist training on those bamboo poles when they skip across a large field? Is anybody familiar with that particular trope? So here's what I'm thinking. We widen these out a little bit so you can start accessing them through the hallway of the mannequin, through the trial of the mannequin, so to speak. You know what? We can put the mannequin a little bit further ahead. And we can start the process a little bit earlier here. If only there was a way to lower the elevation of a floor. I feel like that's the thing that's the only real thing that's holding me back, is that I can't make a good trapdoor. Granted, it makes sense that you can't do that, given that this is a house creation software rather than a dungeon creation software. I don't know, there has to be a market for, like, creating a fucked up dungeon kind of thing, right? Like, there has to be at least one out there where the dude was a real pervert about making trapdoors. Okay, and then we're going to bump up the height of this. Oh, yes. Maybe a little less height than that. Okay, this is how we do it. Welcome to the Bamboo Poles of Doom expansion to the already precarious jump between one hallway and the other. Yeah, that's right. This isn't just a fun dungeon house anymore. Now it's a wipeout for the PS2 stage. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm not gonna lie. Also, we do need to make these sliding doors a little bit bigger, because otherwise I don't think they're going to do a whole lot of sliding. Phew, okay. What else can we get in here? You know what? I do think that this place could use a little bit of livening up. I'm going to put a plant right on top of the washing machine. Okay. Increase the height of that. There we go. And actually, you know what? I just realized that this means we can put a plant in the washing machine, too. Well, you know what I say. Greenwashing is the best kind of washing. I don't actually say that. Please do not attribute that quote to me. Okay, there we go. Then, you know, you have two plants. You have one in the hanging out in your washing machine, and then you have a second one just a little off to the side on top of the washing machine. Just like God intended. And actually, why stop at one? Could use a whole little garden here. God knows we could use a little bit of a cheer in this fucking house. Gotta keep your plants clean. That's what I'm saying. You understand. You know what? I was pondering what to put in the in this corner here, but now looking at it, we need to have some stakes in order to ensure that they're not going to try some fuckery with a car and try to cheat their way into the garage. We're going to put an aquarium here. A nice spacious aquarium where you can't fuck up or else you're going to risk hurting the fish. And you don't want to hurt the fish. That'd be cruel. So there we go. I am noticing that that's a very small aquarium as well, though, so we are going to need to do something about that. There we go. And you know, that's great too, because then you have your little fishy friends always welcome you into your home. When you drive home from work, you're very stressed and tired, and you know, you're dreading the inevitable self-imposed challenge of being able to navigate this hallway. But you know what? It's worth it to drive by your fish and pretend like they're taking your order at the Taco Bell drive-through. All right, what else we got in here? We do have some lights, but I think it's best if... Hang on. Red light source. Hang on. What does that look like in the, in this map? Okay, so it's just hanging out at the top there. Perfect. We're gonna need as many of those light bulbs as possible in these first two hallways, by the way. Like, just as many as we can possibly fit. I want you to feel like you're walking through some kind of deranged trial, cult hazing initiation. All right. No lights at all in the bamboo forest, though. That one you have to navigate on instinct. Then I feel like a spotlight would suit the garage's general vibe. And you know what? Let's have it facing outward too. Yeah, sheer force of will. That's right. You're either that guy or you're not. All right. Halogen light source. Let's put a couple of those in the kitchen. You know, they say that cooking under halogen light really imparts a special something into the cooking. And just because there's not enough tripping hazards in this house, I'm going to put a lamp right next to the bed. Because that way you can always control when you're going to turn off the lights at the end of the night. What does incandescent light source mean? How is that any meaningfully different from a normal light bulb? Dog, it's all incandescent, brother. It's light. That's how it works. I didn't mean to pull the wall up light outside of the house, but in retrospect, this might be funnier. Still a hard no, though. Let's put that inside. Okay. We could use a couple of staircases, actually. So, okay, curved staircase. What does this look like? Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm guessing staircase is just a normal, very standard issue. Okay, yeah. Alright, so here's my idea. Have you heard of what a Thomason is? It's a sort of art concept. Not necessarily an art style per se, but it is a kind of found art phenomenon where the idea is that due to the methods of architectural design, there are occasionally completely useless spaces and fixtures in a building. For example, there are such things as staircases that literally lead nowhere. Like they don't actually have a separate room, they don't have a balcony, it's just staircases and then it just smacks into a wall. Nothing more there. That's what it's called, a Thomason. So I'm thinking we need a little, at least a couple of those kind of in the perimeter, just so we have a little bit of culture in this hellhole. Okay. And I think that's all we can really do, unless we want to fit a flat screen TV somewhere in here. Oh wait, hang on. I've got the perfect place for the flat screen TV. Okay, we're gonna put the flat screen over here for two reasons. One, you can watch the flat screen and sit on the floor while you wait for your extremely flat food to reheat in your extremely flat microwave. And due to the way it's positioned, you can open the sliding door so you can peek at the TV while you're in bed. Today, I am a genius. And you know what? The flat screen doesn't look fucked up enough. Let's also mess with its proportions. Let's make it taller. In the shop, they sold this to me as a widescreen. They didn't tell me that it was like vertically wide. I guess you could call that a high screen TV, but like I feel like it would just be like a vertical high screen, like widescreen. I mean, just it's like those third monitors that people have that is very vertical that they have just to read Discord or chat messages sometimes. God. I was really got my 960 TV. Yup. Yeah, it's a 50-inch TV. They didn't tell me which way the inches go, though. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You know what? This house is a hellhole, but at least you do have a pretty nice TV. Actually, I've got an idea. So, to raise the stakes somewhat of the bamboo forest, let's add some plants there too. Really put the forest in the bamboo forest. This is like the kind of house that Yujiro Hanma would put Baki in. Actually, you know what? That's enough flower pots there. Wasn't there a frame somewhere? Hang on. We can put a frame at the end of the hallway of trials, just so that it'll have some kind of congratulatory message like "You are the winner." If you knock over any of the plants, the house explodes. That's right. And you do have to, so you do have to actually reach down and cycle between the plants. Actually, hang on, wait. Oh shoot, hang on. I don't think I need to select a bunch of those cylinders real quick. Okay, hang on. So, oh, I didn't even realize you could probably edit them through here, huh? Because, like, hang on. If you look at that closely, they're not connected to the ground, I don't think? No, those suckers are definitely floating. Okay, so we're gonna set their height to... Can we just put them on the floor? Is there, like, a fast way to just put them on the floor? Location, Y centimeter, elevation centimeter. Here we go. Okay, we just need to do that for all of these. Okay, I think they're... No, they're not on the floor, are they? So let's group that furniture together. Oh, that's actually really handy. Just a slight ambient amount of floating for everything in the house. Yeah, gravity doesn't exactly play nicely here. I think it's because this place is offensive to all natural laws and order. Oh, no, they are on the floor. Okay, they're very much on the floor. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Hot water radiator. I think we're gonna put that right next to the bed. What better place to put it than right next to the bed? Keep yourself nice and toasty in the winter. Right next to the bed. Don't see how that's gonna be a fire hazard. It's only a fire hazard if you're not if you're not the goat. Okay. I think we've used pretty much everything we have. I don't think we have anything else that we can meaningfully add to this place. I do like that the only window in the house doesn't actually lead outside. Zero natural light up in this unit. Or no, you know what? Let's have a service hatch somewhere. What does a service hatch look like precisely? Ah, okay. You know what? We can have the service hatch leading outside from the car hole. You know, in case you desperately need to leave the house and you don't have time to make it through the mannequin's trial, I will have mercy and have one service hatch that you can try to worm your way through. Or, you know, feed in the fireman's fire hose. And actually, you know what? Since this place it doesn't feel hellish enough, let's put a round window right here in the middle where everybody can see how you live. Can't put it too close to the bamboo forest because then there will be the slight problem that you might be able to use some of the natural light to navigate the bamboo forest, and which we cannot have. For the record, right? Like that's just we don't play that here. Metroidvania shortcut to exit a complicated area. That's exactly how it is. I guess really you could use the garage door for that anyway, but I do feel like the garage door is probably blocked at least a little bit by the car. Yeah, I think I've used pretty much everything here. Okay. Now then. What can we do with this? Right? Because I feel like there might be a couple of things we can probably add. Not a true garage door, just a suggestion of a garage door. The garage door is like a facade? Oh my god, that would be really funny. Oh god, that would be so sick in the head, but really, really funny. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to add texture to these places, so hang on. How do we do that? Add text, lock base plan, that would probably help. Okay, does that mean we can't move the walls anymore? Okay, yeah, that does mean we can't move the walls anymore. Perfect. That being said, I don't think locking the base plan will help because we do need to futz around with the walls to add a texture. Import background image. Huh. Okay, so I'll play your game. I'll play your game. What? Okay, so let's say I use... Hang on. What would be a good background image to use for this? Oh, here's a good familiar one. The image you selected is 3,898 by 2,599 pixels. A large background image might greatly reduce program performances if it's not reduced to a smaller size. Should it be reduced to 3,464 by 2,310 pixels? Yeah, sure, why not? That's like a 10% difference at most. Define the scale of the image by moving the endpoints of the drawn line in the image below and entering the length of this line in real life. Oh, that's a complicated question. Okay, okay, hang on. I think background. I don't think background image is what it implies. I'm going to avoid that. That's for like the background. So like this part. Yeah, no, surprisingly technical amount and surprisingly deep technical depth and everything. Split wall, import background image, modify wall. Okay. Oh, pattern and plan. Is there a modify baseboard? Oh, here we go. Color and texture. Actually, can we do that for all the walls? Group 1, triangle, no, okay. Let's do it one by one for the time being, and then we'll see if we can't select all walls. Okay, so... modify wall. Left side and right side, okay. So let's use gray tiles for this one. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, kind of a bummer that you need to okay, is there a way to quickly select all the walls? So edit, furniture, plan. Come on. There has to be something to select the walls easily. Feel like there's got to be a function somewhere. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. If not, well, I guess it's not too bad having to individually select them. There's not actually that many walls in the plan. Although it does take a little bit of effort. Okay, so modify walls. Alright, so okay, so left side texture. Let's have them be marble walls. I don't know, I like the idea of the walls being marbled. In this Colosseum of wills. Oh yeah. Look at this place. It looks like a shitty Minecraft house. Oh shoot, I missed a couple of these. Hang on. Just real quick, we gotta grab these last few ones. Okay, where's the marble texture? Wall, stone, wall, marble. Here we go. It's all coming together. Oh, yeah. Okay, if I add a room here, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so modify rooms. Here we go. Display wall, display ceiling, wall sides around room. Perfect. Okay, so floor for the... Okay, perfect. I love this. Okay, so for the bathroom, what kind of texture should we have? I do think like making the textures of the house be fairly normal compared to the rest of it, I think is like the absolute best move. Like, I do feel like having a completely normal looking bathroom is like a disturbing clarity and sanity compared to the rest of this. So let's do gray tiles for the inside of the bathroom. Okay, walls around the room. So what about, hang on, wall blue tiles. There we go. That's a very normal looking bathroom. If I almost said very looking bathroom, and you know what? That's not wrong. Okay, the floor for this. Let's just make it like a... Actually, you know what would be a better idea? Hang on. Can I split the room? Split room and create polyline. What does that do? Okay, I don't know what... I don't think that does anything in particular. So I think we need a different tool for the room modification. Special location existing within its own realm. Basically, yeah. Oh, add point to room. Here we... Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I see that what game you're playing. I don't think that's what I want to do, though. So, recompute room points, modify rooms. Okay, we're gonna need to really get in there. Add a point of room. Seriously, how do I delineate a room? Okay, this might be the way. Yeah, this is absolutely the way. Okay, so modify room. And I think for this one, we are just going to make it a very serene green as opposed to the... presumably red destructive hell that we're going to create in the doll room. I guess we also need to add another room here, huh? Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So for this one, I'm thinking a very aggressive color scheme. Some would refer to it as perhaps demonic. And you know what? Let's make it a shiny texture too, because I feel like we're not making this place stressful enough. Ah, yes, perfect. They're calling it the Louboutin of the architectural styles. And actually, let's make the mannequin also red textured if we can swing it. I don't know, can we do that? Can we make the mannequin red? Yes, we can! Oh boy. Today just keeps getting better and better. Hang on, how do I avoid... Hang on, grab. Okay, perfect. Modify furniture, color. Let's actually go a little bit of emo with this set. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fairly stressful as a sort of location. I think we can also do something similar for this block. Make it a nice, relaxing shade of green. I feel like I'm making an escape room rather than a house, which is, you know, fair. Now, I'd like to see an escape room swing this kind of bamboo forest action. I am surprised that I am both surprised and not surprised that more escape rooms don't have some manner of grievous injury issue a la Action Park. Like, I assumed that there would be more parkour involved when I first heard about escape rooms. Okay, so the texture for the ground here. Let's make... Is there carpet? Can we do carpet? I'd really like carpet for this inside tile. No, just wooden floor? Alright, hardwood it is. And actually, we can probably make the ramp hardwood, too. Old wooden floor feels like a good texture for it, though. I feel like that's gonna give it some much-needed fear of splinters and such. Okay, what color should we make the garage floor? I don't know. There are some options. We could also make it a texture, but I don't know. Is there like a concrete texture for the floor? Actually, you know what? I found the perfect one. Let's make it pebbles. Just some real on some real gravel texture type shit. And you know, so just so the fish don't feel weird about being in a closed-off environment, let's make the texture of the walls like a sky. There we go. This won't be stressful for anybody involved. I love the little service hatch still being there. Oh my god. Alright. I think we are just about good to go. Alright, I think there is a way to store point of view, virtual visit, here we go. Can we like oh yeah. Okay, where are we at in terms of the void? Okay. Is there, okay, can we not? Okay, here we go. We can use the mouse wheel to navigate. This is a very strange control scheme, but I can dig it. Oh yeah, looking great with this solid marble exterior. Looks very sturdy. Okay. So please tell me it rendered the lighting effects in the room. Oh, scary! Oh my god, that's so much worse than I thought it would be. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay. Oh, yeah, somebody's gonna break their ankles on this shit for sure. I am a little sad that the lighting effects didn't render. Okay. So, of course, we do have to use our kung fu to hop skillfully and diligently across the cylinder strewn about the bamboo forest section of the house here. But the rewards, once you clear that area, oh, it's beautiful. I planted in the laundry machine, the tall screen TV, your shitty little... Our microwave looks like that shit that they put Paul Atreides' hand in Dune. That stupid little Gom Jabbar test, or whatever the hell they called it. Ah, yes. Of course, we do have the floor directly on the mattress directly on the floor, directly next to the space heater, directly next to an electronic. That's not a problem. We're right next to the bedroom, too, to the washroom, too. So, that's going to be a fun experience. I'm looking at the toilet already. I saw the toilet before I entered the room. Oh, God. How do you... You know what? I'm going to say it. The sink-shower combo could be worse. Genuinely, I think the sink-shower combo could be worse. The toilet's pretty bad, though. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm gonna level with you. The toilet is pretty awful in terms of just hostility to the human species. And of course, we do have the very spacious garage, which does feel like something out of the Maze game that they had on old Microsoft computers. We just keep going. Of course, we have our very well-furnished little aquarium off in the corner. Say hello to Frank and Robbie, the two goldfish mascots of the home, who you will absolutely risk running over every single time you enter through the garage door, which we will just very quickly phase through. Space that you cannot fully comprehend. I do think it is extremely hostile in just how comprehensible it is and how much it hates you. Like, I do feel like you do feel it's just so bizarrely hostile in a lot of ways. Also, I have just figured out the kind of no-clip strat in this house. I like how half of it looks like some kind of fucked up Gmod map where the textures are missing, and half of it looks like just a really bad but all the same fairly normal home. It feels very avant-garde in a sort of strange, in a very kind of weird but unflattering way. We should probably spend some quality time with the stairs we have right outside our house. Hi, Jupiter. Heaven or hell. Let's CAD. Okay, I think... Hang on, modify 3D view. Wall transparency. Yes, please. Let's make them very transparent. Oh, wait. I almost thought there was a wall there, but no, it's just because we have all those fucking cabinets out there. Man, you really do get a feel for how completely chopped this place is, just having no walls visible. And you know what? I do also feel like maybe our experience is hampered by the fact that we're in this very plain-looking blue sky gray field. Let's maybe make it a little bit more tonally appropriate, hey? There we go. Now this feels very homey. Yeah, this feels way more on brand for what we're going for. Oh, hang on. I do have to modify the 3D view again to make the walls. It straight up looks like we've built a house in the Nether. Oh, God. And you just know this thing would be going for like $800,000 on Zillow or something. God. But yeah, this has been very useful, quite honestly. I do think, like, consider for a minute. It took us like 5 minutes. That's $1 million at least if you're in California. Yeah. Welcome to my sweet home. In one cabinet, the wine glasses to serve the bottle of cheap wine you bought as a housewarming gift. The rest, booby-trapped. Now choose wisely, my sweet friend. Yeah, the booby trap isn't that that the cabinet explodes or anything. The mannequin just comes to life and does the Shungoku Satsu on you. The mannequin is very sensitive about the wine. It will get offended if you don't choose the right cabinet. But yeah, like, let's take a step back and really consider what is possible with this program, right? Because we started this an hour and a half ago, just about. And in that time, we figured out the basics of the program. We figured out the basics of the perspective of the program. And we have managed to figure out how to put textures on the walls and everything. I know that there are additional asset packs available for this program where you can just get additional furniture, furnishings, textures, and everything. If you want to make a really quick and dirty interior, this is a really good option. Like, it's like, look at this. You could very easily just take a snapshot of this and be like, okay, yeah, let's use that for a background. I'm thinking about this in terms of, dang it, hang on, I just realized that the mattress isn't actually on the floor. We're gonna have to fix that. Okay, you know what? I can't put it underneath the floorboard, so I'm just gonna make it flat enough that it becomes a futon and you can't really see the frame anymore. Yeah, I flatted that sucker alive. Where am I? Meow. Meow. I do just imagine the owner of the house just shadow boxing the mannequin whenever they get bored. Just like just like stopping very short of punching it for real. I don't know. There's something very funny to me about shadow boxing. Like, it is a genuine exercise and it is very handy if you're trying to learn martial arts. But just the fact that you're not actually hitting anything, I think, is what makes it cross the line to the comedy for me. Alright. Well, goodbye to this shithole forever. I'm wandering off into the red oblivion. Can we still see it? Okay. How far back can we go before it stops rendering our awful little hovel? Okay, we can go pretty far, honestly. We're already more than 100 meters away. It's better out here in the void. It's better out here where it's not flat. Well, actually, no, the whole world is very flat. I was trying to do a pun on it. It's better where it's wetter, but I don't think I got it in me. Okay, we're approaching 300 meters away from the residence. It's becoming a speck in the horizon. You know what? Hold on. I forgot my keys in the house. Let's hurry back. God, what a fantastic little program. I've had so much fun with this with this experience for real. I don't know, it is just very handy. I can't think of a lot of practical uses. Like, I don't think anybody would be... Well, no, you could very well be deciding to, you know, make Sweet Home 3D your hobby and just make all kinds of different interiors and areas. Actually, wait, hang on. I've got an idea. Okay, let's save our work first. So let me... So hang on. Let's save this in downloads. So I'm gonna call this place the dungeon first. You zoom out enough and you see a screaming face out of the court of the Crimson King. Okay, here we go. Oh, export to OBJ format. Hang on. Okay, we've got the dungeon.obj. You could get a vague sense of what it would be like trying to change up your room layout or something. A little bit. That could also be helpful. But yeah, hang on. Where are we? Let's pose ourselves right outside the round window, because I feel like that's the best way to experience this place. If people can be dedicated to the simple forward player after all this time, there can be a Sweet Home 3 fanatic. You know what? You are absolutely correct. Okay. Let me open up Clip Studio Paint so I can see if we can't fit the .obj file into a canvas. Because if you could do it one-to-one directly, that would be an absolute game changer. Ain't no way. Oh my god, it exports with the textures and everything. Oh my god, this is perfect. Wait, hold on. This is it's real. The One Piece is real. Oh my god! The roof texture, the ceiling textures bleed out onto the roof. Okay. Okay. The bad news is we can't. Hang on. We can't. It's very difficult because it doesn't name the parts very well. So you do have to kind of guesstimate which parts of it you actually want to remove. Like, can we... Hang on. Oh, here we go. So if we... Okay, there we go. There's one. Okay, no, you just need to be patient. You just need to be patient when you click on this. Okay, yeah, just right mouse clicking on it. Oh god, the mannequin is here. But yeah, this is really good. I was just planning to take a screenshot of the interior and use that, but this is so much better. But yeah, we just kind of reach in here. Yeah, okay, so if you right mouse click, you can just select the offending texture in question. Yeah, bring down some of these walls. Oh, this is kind of a problem too, though. Hang on. Okay, so some of these are more, shall we say, articulated than I had thought they would be. Like, the door has individual hinges, and I'm not a really big fan of that at all. You know what? Just get rid of the hinges. Hang on. Let's just mass turn off the hinges. Oops. You know what? Never mind. The hinges can stay. The hinges can stay. Okay, so it's a little bit more of a pain in the ass than I was anticipating, but that's fine. You can just export without any walls. You can just make the walls completely opaque, and then you have no problem. Okay, you might have some problems. Oh god, this looks so... Wait, can we also play around with the light in this? Hang on, light source. Oh, no. Oh, buddy. The Hellway for real. We fucked up big time making this. I feel like we have angered something truly evil. Okay, where is the door handle on this? Okay, handle 416. God, there's a lot of different little components to this, huh? What is that? Can we just get it out of there? Seriously, look at that. What is that? I do think this is making the computer run pretty slow, so I'm going to say that it's probably for the best if you only do like one room at a time. But yeah, okay, let's can we introduce perspective into this? I want to see if we can't do like a almost like fisheye lens perspective. Hang on. It's really bugging me that I'm not able to find these two. Gonna try a couple more times to get them out of there. Oh, here we go. I was gonna say, why did it suddenly get so dark out here? But then I remembered that the whole place is just kind of terrifying. Okay, so... I'm trying to make this as scary as possible. Chad, what do we think? What are we thinking? How can we improve the fear associated that this image can evoke? I don't know. I think it's already kind of up there. Just being the way that it is. Oh, right, the perspective. Wet carpet. You know, that is something that bugged me, is that we can't be in this house like carpet in the editor. Oh, right, I wanted to check out the perspective powers that we could use for this. All right, let's try that. Camera 1, here we go. Oh, man, is there like a... Okay, angle, camera, switch camera, projection method... No fisheye lens, sadly. What about parallel projection? What is that? Huh. That's very strange. Okay, what if we really... Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. Now we're cooking again. We're cooking again. We can use just a little bit of foreshortening on this, and that way we can make the hallway look much bigger, like those dreams where you're running in a hallway endlessly. Okay, perfect. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try and use what I remember from the graphics of Killer 7 to make a more distinct floor. Okay, so we are going to add a new layer. What's a Blender? I only know my favorite program for 3D model scene building, Clip Studio Paint. That is somehow... I do feel like the longer I go without learning how to make environments in Blender, the more I am just becoming like a caveman finding increasingly esoteric ways to deploy their favorite club. When I know full well that there is like a perfectly good hunter-gatherer society, like just off to the side, and all I have to do to enter that society is learn how to make a donut. I'm never gonna watch the Blender donut tutorial. I don't give a fuck how good how good or comprehensive it might actually be. I'm sorry, that's just not in my nature to... I don't know, there's something that feels very strange about the Blender donut tutorial. I am at a little bit of a conflict with the Blender donut tutorial because I do have it as a personal principle that I respect and appreciate anybody who acts to share their knowledge with others, but at the same time, something about it just feels rice-based products only. That's right, it's Mochi Donut or nothing. You either pawn the ring against you either pawn the ring with me or you pawn the ring against me. Okay. But yeah, especially if you're just using this for just quick and dirty references. Again, I am just in awe of how useful this could be. Again, you don't even need to make like a full structure. You can just make individual rooms and then base it off of that. Why can I select some of the outside parts? Hang on. That's really strange. Let's try to deselect this. There we go. Oh yeah, we should probably also try to select this section here. And that way we can create a little bit of the implication that there is an exit there to the next space. Pardon me. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty terrifying. I don't know, just out of context, that just feels like a good place where we can kind of leave off for today. I know it's been a little bit of a shorter stream, but I think we've accomplished everything that we needed. I don't know how much more we can do with this. We've already kind of built the most nightmarish house I could conceive, so I think... I don't know, maybe I should go pray the rosary or something just so I don't get cursed. For my own benefit. Alright. Well, take it easy, everybody. I'll be back on Saturday with Hollow Knight. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely be trying to implement the use of this in the future. I do think it's got a lot of potential. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. I hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend, and I'll see you all later. Oh, hell no, I hear children creepily chanting, "We have to get out of here! Goodbye!"